right, so next question is, over the series run so far, I think you've released like 4 episodes so far. The size of your crew has grown. There seems to be more folks in the credits. So what's changed from the first episode to now, and how has that changed the final product for you?
What's changed is that we've needed more people and more actors to play more people, and we've needed like a drone guy. How we getting those nice drone shots? We need a drone guy, and extra just hands on deck to kind of help with lights and sound and stuff like that. Just kind of holding things really.
And lucked in with some really good friends of ours and mutual. And the funny thing is, though, the more people that come onto our crew or whatnot, the more organized and disciplined, then we have to really tighten down on our stuff, because they're like, they want to know so much time in advance, they want to know the whole thing and blah, blah, blah. So also what I think is pretty good technique when you're working with actors in a whole series, feature film, whatever the case, you don't want to send them the whole script in bulk. It really just depends on what scene you're filming that night, I think.
You don't want to confuse them.
And confuse them.
Actors get stressed out with big scripts.
Oh yeah. And luckily we have very little dialogue.
Yes. It was originally supposed to be like a modern day silent film.
Yeah, because I wanted it, because this whole thing was basically a technical exercise for me. So as a production company, and I wanted to see if I could take on a big project like that. So, what were we saying?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be like a modern day silent film.
It was supposed to be a modern day silent film. What I wanted was absolutely no dialogue whatsoever. So I wanted everybody to show the dialogue through emotion.
Wow.
And then the music was going to back that up. So, the character really had to show.
That's a cool idea.
So, I mean, I already gave it away now. But, I mean, technically it still is, because there's very little dialogue and a lot of it is voiced over.
Sure.
So,
Gotcha.
it still kind of achieved my goal in a way. But, yeah.
All right, so in chapter 2, there's a character, a time traveler, who arrives on Earth nude. Was that a homage to Arnold's arrival in James Cameron's The Terminator?
Definitely.
What made you decide to introduce that character that way?
Okay, so the unfortunate part is that I have to say is that she didn't come from the future. She did come in a spaceship, which we'll show later on. Spoiler alert. She did crash land into Earth and basically got taken in by the tribesmen. I detail that in my character. But what we're going to work on for our website, we're taking all of these episodes and enhancing them with colorations and whatnot. So we figured, because we were looking at prologue and understanding there might be confusion with the audience of knowing, like, are they time traveling, or are they just teleporting within the same time frame? What's all this? What's going on? So she was put under a hypnosis state, and like in the fake Matrix world. So we're going to change the coloration of the scenery. Like, we're going to make the sky like a purple and
something. We'll change the green leaves to another color, so they can differentiate between the reality world and the I guess Matrix-like world she was in while she was under, she was under before she woke up.
So she wakes up with this gas mask underwater, and is telepathically communicating to my character and whatnot. And we both don't know who we are. It's all amnesia at this point. And this guy is basically, the detective behind it, to help the audience understand who's who and what's what.
Yeah, what's going on.
But so we're working on that. She's just in a hypnosis type state in the cell underwater. But yeah.
So tell me about your process when you're shooting a scene. Do you use storyboard? Or do you use a shot list? Do you go for certain coverage? How do you make sure that you get the footage that you need?
We call each other the night before and spend a few hours on the phone.
Basically, yes, because most times we had already scouted the locations or previously filmed there and whatnot.
So we already know the lay of the land.
Okay.
And then so mostly I'd say, if anything, the shot list for sure. Nice written out shot list, and that way we have an idea of what we're going on. If things change, we move things around. We go with the flow.
Yeah,
And,
we try not to be too like, oh, we gotta stick to this, you know.
yeah, stick to the script. If
Yeah.
we let the actors always ad lib if it feels right, and sometimes it comes out better. We're like, yeah, just take
Yeah. They'll say it better than what the script said. It's
yeah.
like, let's do that.
Yeah. So, Joe, as a writer of the series, where do you find your inspiration? Some people are natural born writers, and some people have to learn that craft. Where do you fall on that spectrum between writer and director or editor? Which of those jobs do you find the most enjoyable?
Oh, it is a bit of a toughie to see which one that I love the most out of the three. But first, I was just wanting to be an actor, like back when I was like 4. So I really know I wanted to engage. I loved movies, Terminator 2, just some of the best, Jurassic Park, Jaws. I mean, there's so many great films out there. And I just had such a passion to want to get into that field. And so writing kind of came first with a little bit of acting, because I was always a character kid running around doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then, so writing and acting was the first 2 things. And then in my high school, they opened up a 2-year film studies course. It was John Marshall High School. Mr. Dale, God rest his soul, he was an English teacher. He passed away of cancer years later.
Aww.
But he started a film studies course for 2 years. It taught you all the fundamentals from the beginning of the, silent film age to now. And then at the end of it, you got to get together with people and make your own short film. Edit it, put it together, write the script.
How interesting.
And then, so I got an early on experience with that. So
Wow. That is really cool. I wish I had had that when I was going to school.
it gave me a boost, but definitely, I love it. I love it all. I never feel like I'm working when I'm doing it. Especially when we're just having fun.
It's just fun, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Tony, same question to you. I mean, you're the director of photography for Awakening, editor, VFX, colorist, sound. What do you like most?
I like the editing and the coloring. I think it's really fun. I also enjoy the filming part of it, but I think I like that a little bit more, because I'm more of the post-production type of guy, because I originally started with my recording studio. I'm a recording engineer at heart, so that's kind of my main passion, what I've been doing for 20 years. So I would say audio is like my main, but yeah, I like the editing part, because it's kind of like doing audio. When I'm editing audio and doing all that stuff, it's kind of the same thing with video, but I'm actually looking at a movie now.
Yeah.
Instead of just waveforms and stuff. But
And allows you to just kind of create at your own leisure, right?
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and that, and I really want to learn more VFX stuff. So.
So, what's your filmmaker education been like? I mean, he kind of touched on some of the stuff that he's done for that, but what have you, how have you learned to be a filmmaker, and what advice do you have for somebody who's thinking, hey, I want to make a movie?
It's kind of like how I've done everything else. I've done it, and then I went to school for it. But for filmmaking, I didn't go to school for it. I took I had to take a photography class in college when I was doing graphic design, and they introduced us to photography, and I got really into it. And I had always been into photography, but they really taught me like the fundamentals, and like, so that naturally kind of took me towards video. So that's what got me into video.
And anything you wanted to add to your filmmaking education?
Yeah, I was as far as recent, like I just completed my own feature film off course, and I was in post-production with it. So that's actually a spoiler alert. We're going to be releasing that later on too, thanks to this guy, because that's originally what kind of linked us in a way. Is like I was like, hey man, I got this feature film. It took me 5 years to make.
Yeah.
We lucked in with this great lead role. He literally looked like if Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans had a baby.
Goodness.
I mean, and he's in tip-top
Oh,
shape.
I'm turning red.
Kyle Williamson, and he still looks the same. Like we shot for
he's like
5
a
years because
bodybuilder.
he looked the same. Showed up every day the same.
Goodness.
Physique. It was like
I'm glad I got these cards.
But yeah, so he decided to jump on and help post-production with me on that, and really bring it to life. And
Yeah, and I've been telling them for a few years, like, let's get it done.
Yeah, I know. It's like I've stared at it for so long, so many years. I just like
Need a separate set of
zoned
eyes.
in. Yeah, I was like, I can't look at it anymore, man. Yeah, it's like,
I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
So, who have been your biggest influencers as filmmakers first to you?
I really couldn't say because I've never really been into films. I've been more into music all my life. And he's always telling me, oh yeah, this actor and this actor and this director, and I'm like,
so he's your biggest influence then?
yeah, pretty much. But then like he shows me like films and stuff, and I started kind of catching along, and I'm like, I kind of like Pulp Fiction guy,
Tarantino,
yeah, and then Robert Rodriguez, his movies and stuff like that. So, and he told me the story about Robert Rodriguez, and that kind of inspired me. You know, it's like, 2 clamp lights and a camera. That's kind of how I started.
Right.
So, yeah, it's an inspiration. I just kept going. And it's like I tell people, like, it's not about the gear that you have. It's just what's here, your imagination, what you want to put out. Like, it doesn't matter if you have a cell phone or a $1 million camera, like,
So
it's
true.
just your creativity.
Yeah. What about you? Any major influencers for you?
Oh, so a good handful, yeah. Huge movie buff, so it's like Tim Burton, Spielberg, James Cameron for sure. When I saw Terminator 2, I didn't even know there was an original. That was the funniest part because I was like, this is a great movie, oh my God. And I never saw the original because it was earlier on. But yeah.
I remember telling them that. I was like, really?
But that was because it was amazing because like the sequel outdid the original, like
Well,
view-wise
yeah,
and
well,
whatnot.
VFX-wise.
VFX. Yeah. And I'm just going to say one more thing about Terminator 2. It was made with the original Photoshop, the liquid metal guy
Really?
and everything.
Huh. Very impressive. I did not know that.
Yes. So definitely that Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, just naturally knowing he was from here and he somehow did it as well. Great.
Cool.
And yeah, so a lot of different influences come into play.
All right. So the final question for today is, yes, wait for it. So what can you tell us about what's coming up for the remainder of season 1? Is this project something that you plan to carry to season 2 or 3, perhaps?
We can.
Yeah.
We can. We've talked about it. There's
definitely.
been conversations that have been going on. I was like, wait a minute, is this for this chapter? He's like, no. Is this like season 2 or 3? I was like, okay, that's badass. So yeah, we can expand pretty far.
Yes. And definitely we want to leave open-ended things like we always do, leaving each chapter that's a part of it. But we took a different approach to the series as well, opposed to the popular series that you'll see today.
We call it a micro series.
Micro series.
Okay.
Because each episode is roughly 10 minutes long, and there's only 10 episodes.
So it's like a feature film. One season would be watching the equivalent of a feature film.
Okay, yeah.
You don't have to dedicate an entire day or a couple of days to watch our season.
Yeah.
That makes
It's like
it
watching a
nice.
movie.
Yeah, and people's attention spans are a lot like, let's get to it quick. And I'll be on YouTube as well and, just be browsing, I don't know, aliens caught on film and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, I'm only going to dedicate maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops. And then,
Yeah, that's what we talked about. He's like, realistically, what videos do you really watch? And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't watch anything past 10 minutes. It's like, yeah, you're right. Unless I'm really interested, I'll watch a 15, 20-minute video, But
Yeah, and less is more because then you really get to, open up all these doors of questions and end it on a cliffhanger to where you're like, wait, what just happened right now? And it's like, wait for the next, and explain a little bit more. So it's slowly explaining everything because it's such a variety of things that are going on.
It's a complex thing because everything kind of ties together, so it's hard to explain all the different connections. You have to kind of expand it throughout a season to really understand it. I know some people might say, well, I don't know what's going on. Well, it's like, well, you got to keep watching.
Is there any kind of teaser you want to throw at us about what's coming next?
Ooh. Chapter 4, Dr. Burdens. So it's going to detail a lot of my character as the mad scientist type and whatnot, and my whole backstory. So,
Oh,
you know.
get the
And
backstory.
I'm gonna get into trouble.
Exciting. You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, my character's gonna get into trouble later on, and it's gonna get pretty exciting at the end.
Oh, I can't wait to
Yeah,
see
it's
it.
gonna be a pretty big cliffhanger. So
true.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing that for sure. What were you going to say? You have something else?
Oh, well, I guess one more little spoiler. Then you will actually meet one of the main elitist Deltas that runs the Delta Corporation, is in charge. Her character's name is Anon.
my boss.
His boss.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And played by Ayla Hartung. She's an amazing actress
And a model.
and model. Yes.
Nice. I think I've
yeah.
seen her name before on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah, she's kind of popular.
She sounds familiar.
It's very striking.
Yes.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing her and seeing more of y'all. And thank you so much for being here today with
Thank
us.
you for having us. Yeah.
Appreciate having us. Definitely.
Well, that does it for this episode of Alamo Film Group's Make Your Movie. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Esperon. Now, go make your movie.